Do you want to keep up on all the pop culture events? Do you want to impress all your friends with your nerdy knowledge? Well, then sit down, get comfortable, and let's watch This Week in Nerd.
Hey, listen!
Get nerdy with me.
Okay, I'm a little excited about this one. I'm big into musicals. They are making another adaptation of Cats. The one you saw out in the 90s was just basically them filming one of the performances on Broadway. It's one of the longer running plays on Broadway. I actually got a chance to see it there in New York before it got pulled. I loved it. I don't know why. I just absolutely loved Cats. This one is going to be star-studded, man. Tom Hooper's Cats musical adaptation. They just signed up Jason Derulo. He's going to be in here along with, let's see, some more names here. Idris Elba is going to be in there. Jennifer Hudson, Taylor Swift, James Corden. I believe they just signed Rebel Wilson. It's just star-studded. And it's one of the executive producers is Spielberg. Got to be good if it's got Spielberg attached to it. Looks like first performed in 1981. If you haven't seen Cats, if you don't like musicals, don't bother. I kind of really do like musicals. This one centers around the Jellicle cats, and one time a year they come and perform for their big leader, kind of, to determine which one is going to ascend to the Heaviside layer and be reborn and come back. It's kind of far-fetched, but it's a play. You guys watch movies with guys flying around, so just push the I believe button that the Jellicle cats exist. This is it's scheduled to hit toward the end of December in 2019, so we got to wait about a year for this. But with all these names, man, it's based on a book from T.S. Eliot called Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. I think the musical is much better than the book, but that's just me. Can't wait for this one, man. I can't tell you how much I'm a sucker for cats. And in real life, I prefer dogs, so I don't know why I like this play Cats so much. It's going to be good. Can't go wrong with all these big names and Spielberg. Waiting to see Cats, December 20th, 2019. Okay, I told you guys about the big YouTube thing on the last update. YouTube has partnered with MGM. They're going to be showing for free to the viewers anyway, a bunch of MGM's library. They're going to have movies like Terminator, the Rocky series, Legally Blonde, Pink Panther, and it's going to be totally free for you guys to stream off YouTube. Now, how they're getting around that is it's going to have ads. They're going to be charging for ads. So if you're a company that typically runs ads on YouTube and you want your say you're Dick Sports and you want your ad to run for boxing gloves during Rocky, you pay YouTube. They got millions and millions of subscribers that are probably going to watch this stuff for free. Your ad's going to be placed perfectly in there. Great ad placement. If you don't want to see the ads, I believe you can opt for their $9.99 ad-free experience. I believe YouTube Red. And it should take all of the ads out. But this is YouTube is creating another opportunity for people to advertise. They're giving you movies for free, but it's going to be just like TV. It's going to have commercials in it, and they're getting that ad money to justify their. I'm sure they had to pay MGM a little bit of cash to get these movies streaming for free. I think it's a great partnership for both. Is going to get interest back in some of these older movies that people can watch on YouTube for free. Plus YouTube's getting, having to pay MGM, so MGM's coming out a little top on that one. It says here they're going to have over 100 titles just from MGM. They're still working on partnering with other studios. Can't wait. Some of the studios that already have their own streaming, don't hold your breath. I doubt you're going to see Disney on there. None of the Marvel stuff, because those guys have their own Disney Play service in DC with Warner Brothers. Same deal. They've got their own streaming service. You probably won't see those guys on there, but some of the other ones, you might see them. They dropped the trailer for the live-action Lion King this past week. Huge. It's the second largest trailer debut ever. It's huge. It's second only to another Disney title, the Avengers Infinity War. Their trailer debuted to just a little more. The Lion King got 224, almost 225 million views, and I believe the Avengers got around 238. So not a big difference, but it's still, it wasn't real close. I watched the trailer. There was a couple the moments in there that was just like odd. Then you had the cute moments, when Rafiki holds up Simba to all the subjects of his kingdom. It was just I'm really looking forward to this now. More so than Dumbo. I saw the preview or the trailer for Dumbo the other day. I'm still on the fence with that one. I don't know. It looks like they're changing up the Dumbo story a little bit. But the Dumbo one does have quite a bit of big names in it. So, especially with Tim Burton directing. And, you got Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton, Colin Farrell. And it's Dumbo, man. That's such a sad, melancholy story. But anyway, back to Lion King. It looks like the first 24 hours of its premiere, if that's any indication, it's going to kill it in the box office. Let's see. It's been, 94. Yeah, it's been a while since Lion King came out. I mean, they've had a Broadway play, which I've seen there in New York, and it was pretty amazing. They're traveling around now, different areas. If you get a chance that comes to your town, I'd suggest see it, man. The sets and the costume pieces are amazing, and it's a pretty good adaptation of the animated film. Lion King, I told you Dumbo had a lot of big names. Lion King's not slouching either, man. It's directed by Jon Favreau, and I believe he directed the Jungle Book, another big live-action one for Disney, which I thought was done perfect. You also have the vocal talents of Donald Glover, Seth Rogen, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I'm probably mispronouncing it, the dude who played Black Panther, John Oliver, Keegan-Michael Key, Beyonce, and Mr. James Earl Jones. It's coming out in the middle of next year, July 19th, 2019. I want to see if maybe we can do a movie review for this one. I'm a sucker for Disney stuff, and the live action, I'm coming around to them. I'm actually starting to like them a lot. Check out the trailer if you don't believe me. It looks really good, and can't wait till July, man. Jon Favreau, do me right. Okay, I told Venom. Mixed reviews on that one, man. Seems like most of the people enjoyed Venom. Except for the hardcore comic book people, which I'm not usually in that crowd, but there was something about the Venom. I didn't like the characterization of Venom or Eddie. I just didn't think that they caught the true tone of those characters from the comic book. It wasn't a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. CGI was all right. Storyline wasn't bad. It just, for me, it was not a Venom movie. It was Venom in name only. But I guess I'm in the minority because it killed it at the box office, and they are pumping out tie-ins, and I believe they're working on a sequel. They're going to have 2 Marvel tie-ins, I believe, July 10th and October 2nd. The July date is probably going to be Morbius with Jared Leto. I don't believe that's been canceled yet. Morbius, the living vampire, if you don't know, he was created during the whole Comics Code fiasco when people were saying comics were a bad influence on people and they had all this bad stuff in it, and the comics said, hey, we'll police ourselves. and they didn't allow, like undead and allow zombies, so they created Zuvimbies. They didn't want vampires, so they created Morbius, the living vampire. So he wasn't really a vampire. He was created he kind of created himself in a lab by accident. So they had a lot of little workarounds for these things, which really went against the whole spirit of the code anyway. So if you're going to do that, why even bother having the comics code? But they did. It was a weird time back then. So anyway, yeah, Morbius, living vampire, Jared Leto. I think he can pull the role off. I'm not a huge Leto fan. He does make good movies. I think he'll be a good Morbius. I guess we'll find out in July if they don't cancel it. And October 2nd, that slot that they've got, we don't know what film they're throwing in there. I mean, they've already canceled the Black and Silver with Black Cat and Silver Sable. Maybe it'll be another Venom. I don't know if they have time to shoot that. I don't know what they're actually working on right now. But it's supposedly going to be a Spider-Man tie-in movie. I would love to see that be Kraven the Hunter. It's another great character. If you guys haven't read Kraven's Last Hunt, one of the better Spider-Man stories out there. So, yeah, I guess we'll find out October 2nd what they're throwing in that. We'll find out before then because they'll be showing all kinds of previews for it. But we're going to have to wait a while to find out that October 2nd, 2020 date, what's going to get thrown in there. But rest assured, the July 10th date, 99% sure that's going to be the Jared Leto Morbius, the living vampire movie. Star Wars guys, okay. We don't know if this is just some politician flapping his gums, running his mouth, trying to, use current pop culture things to get attention, but former UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson. If you've seen Boris Johnson, you can probably believe he would do something dumb like that. Anyway, he kind of intimated that the new Obi-Wan Kenobi film going to be filmed in Ireland. Yeah, he said something along the effects. Here we go. What was the biggest grossing movie last year? Star Wars. And where does George Lucas propose to make a follow-up about Obi-Wan Kenobi? Northern Ireland. Okay, we've already had Ewan McGregor kind of say, no, that's not going to happen. And I'm not sure after the whole Solo debacle where they didn't make as much money as they thought they were going to, and they kind of canceled all the ancillary movies. Or not canceled, but put them on hold indefinitely. Maybe Boris Johnson just doesn't know what's going on currently. I'm sure that at one point it was slated to film in Northern Ireland. But, they're pulling back the reins on a lot of the Star Wars stuff now. They don't want to oversaturate. I'm not saying we won't get a Obi-Wan Kenobi story. I would be happy to watch that. Solo was a good movie. I don't care what anybody says. It was good. Critics were wrong. Go watch it. So, yeah, we may or may not get an Obi-Wan movie filmed in Northern Ireland. Boris Johnson seems to think so, but, politicians have been wrong on more than one occasion. But one thing we do know is the next one, Episode 9, is going to be coming out next year. December 20th, 2019. Mark your calendar. Episode 9, end of the third trilogy. Will they start another trilogy? I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I kind of think maybe they should leave the trilogies alone and just start doing these standalone movies. I think an Obi-Wan standalone after this trilogy's done would be great. I would love to see more backstory on a lot of these other characters. Maybe some of the more unsung characters. Hey, how about a Bosk? How about an IG-88? Any of those other cool characters who were just kind of just under the radar. People know about them, but not everybody. There's an idea for you, Disney. I just made you some money. Follow my ideas. You can email me for more ideas. Anyway, probably won't see Ewan McGregor and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm betting against that. I'm saying Boris Johnson's probably full of it. And we won't see anything until after the third trilogy ends. Okay, if you don't know who Thanos is by now, you live under a rock. with Avengers Infinity War and him making cameos in all the movies leading up to that. You got to know who Thanos is, man. They did such a good media blitz with him. So well that they have discovered a new dinosaur in Brazil, and they have named it after Thanos. Yeah, in 2014, this dude named Sergio Luis Seminato and his team discovered evidence of a newly uncovered dinosaur species. I guess they finally went through all the process of proving it was a new dinosaur. They have named this new dinosaur Thanos after, Thanos. Simonatoy, after the dude who discovered it. So, even the dude who discovered it got second billing to Thanos. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. So, if anybody ever asks you if you can name any dinosaurs, there's one right there. So, yeah, Thanos. Thanos is a dinosaur now. Drop that on them in Trivial Pursuit. Yeah, Thanos Seminatoy. I know I'm butchering that name. Don't care. Look it up yourself. You tell me how to pronounce it. Let me know in the comments. It's an interesting thing. That's not the first comic book character named dinosaur's been named after. They named one after Hellboy, I guess, back in 2015. Some version of Triceratops. It was a cousin, I guess, of Triceratops. Named it after Hellboy because of the horns. It had some horns that looked very much like Hellboy's horns. That being said, hey, the new Hellboy's coming out with David Harbour. Can't wait to see that. I think he's going to do a bang-up job as Hellboy. And it's such a good time to be a nerd right now. Everything is coming up nerd. Can't wait. So yeah, Thanos is a dinosaur. Little off the beaten path here. Valiant Comics. They put out a glass variant. Yes, I said that correctly. A variant with a glass cover for Bloodshot Rising Spirit #1. It was pretty difficult to get. Comic stores had to order at least 250 of the normal comic cover to get this Bloodshot Rising #1 glass variant. Looking online, typically on these variants, however many you have to order to get the variant is usually a good indicator of how much it's going to cost. If you had to order 250, then that variant's probably going to have to sell for around $250 to make it justified. And of course, if you look on eBay, Bloodshot Rising Spirit #1 glass variant, it's going anywhere from $200 to $300. So that's about right. Considering it's Valiant too, there's not a huge call for Valiant Comics. Unfortunately, they have great stories, and Bloodshot is a great character. So yeah, those variants, I don't know a lot of stores that could afford to buy 250 copies of Bloodshot because I haven't sold 250 copies of Bloodshot since I've owned my store. It's not a very called for title. I'm hoping that's going to change with the movie coming out too. If Vin Diesel does it justice, maybe that'll help. They are coming out with another glass variant. That's right. Livewire. She's one of their more unsung heroes. She deals a lot with technology. Her glass variant, though, they're taking it a step past what they did with Rising Spirit. Bloodshot had the first glass cover. They weren't happy with just that, so they decided that their Livewire was going to glow in the dark. That's right. They ordered under blacklight. I'm sorry, not in the dark. So under blacklight, they used this special ultraviolet ink on the cover. I'm looking at a picture of it here. I can post it over here so you can see it. Yeah, this cover under blacklight, all the circuitry and stuff, that's kind of hidden in the cover glows. It's a really nice touch. I like it. It's going to be the same deal with this one, man. You're going to have to order 250 of the normal cover to get the one Livewire glass variant, can't do it. I just can't bring myself to do it. 250 of those at about my cost, $1.50, give or take, to get one glass variant that I can sell and then break even. No, man. Sorry, I can't do it. I understand that they've got to justify all this extra stuff they're doing to produce these glass covers, but man, I can't bring myself to do it. There's the bigger stores will do it, and some of the smaller stores will probably overextend themselves so they can get one. I'm not. I can't. I'd love to, but then again, I don't. There's not a big market for Valiant, at least not here where I'm at. So yeah. Anyway, look it up. Livewire #1, the glass variant with the UV ink in it, where it glows under black light. It's really cool. Valiant's stepping up their game, man. They're doing all the right things. They just haven't turned the corner yet, man. I mean, they're making the movie with Sony. Movies, I believe it's a 5-picture deal. They're doing the glass variants, man. They're out there. They sponsored Vans Warped Tour. They're trying to do all the right things to break through and hit Marvel and DC level sales. They're just not quite there. I'm not sure what it's going to take for them because they have the characters, man. They have the titles. Their storylines are just amazing. They just need that notoriety, and I'm hoping Vin Diesel will bring that to them. That is all that I have for you guys today. I hope your Thanksgiving was great and you didn't eat too much turkey. I know I did. I'm getting ready to go out after this and walk some of it off with my Pokemon Go. As always, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Mash that bell icon so you get notified whenever I put up a new video. For my auditory-only friends, subscribe to me on your favorite podcast platform. Later, nerds.
Get nerdy with me.
Tell me what game that you get on. Is it card or read? What kind of class do you play, girl? In an RPG?